Hi there. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Strive Wealth Builders. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm going to discuss 2 tips on how you can get started in this business for little or no money. Is that true? It is absolutely true. So before I get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Detra Harris. I am the Managing Director for Strive Wealth Builders. We are a business club for real estate investors. Please visit our website and learn more about us. Go to strivewealthbuilders.com. We're located in the San Francisco Bay Area in Albany, California. Okay, so why is this topic really, really important? Well, let me tell you why. I often get asked, well, how can I get started in this business? I have no money and I have no resources. That is the story of so many people that is avoiding to enter into this industry because they feel they do not have the money. And let's get rid of that. Okay, let's get rid of that right now today. I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how you can get started in this business for very little or no money. Okay, so let's start with tip number one. Tip number one is called OPM, other people's money. And that's the standard way of a lot of investors getting their first deal is with other people's money. Now, there are pros and cons to that. And so let's talk a little bit about the pros. The pros is this. This affords you to be able to get the deal done. You more than likely you need to raise that 20% down payment of the purchase price. And that's where we get stuck as newbies. We have to come up with the down payment. And how are we going to fund that? So typically what we'll do is bring in a joint venture partner that could help you with your down payment. And then you're on the hook for the mortgage loan. So that's a very, very standard way of getting your first property. Now, what is some of the cons to that? Well, you now have a joint venture partner that is on you, and when I say that is you have some responsibility to report back to them the what's going on with the deal. Be as transparent as possible, so you do have someone to answer to. The other con behind that is that, of course, you have to split some of your cash flow with your joint venture partner. You have to give them a return on their money. Typically, in about a year to 2 years, if they're in the deal, you'll have to return their capital plus some type of interest or return on their money. Now, here's another pro for that. You are of value to anyone that you decide to bring a great deal to and you're making them money. So always keep that in mind because we do have these cons when it comes to other people's money and using up other people's money as if there is something wrong with doing that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. It's a win-win situation for both investors. For instance, we have different types of investors. You have an investor that is a debt investor. They don't want to find the deals. They don't want to deal with tenants. They don't want to deal with real estate agents and all the whole process. So that's your job, and that's how you create value and you bring value to the deal when they support you with your down payment funds. Another way you bring value is you're going to qualify for the loan, and often you're on the hook for that loan. So that's the other way that it seals the deal. So you have two people using other people's money, and that's how you get your first deal for the first year or two. Then you can exit them on out and you're ready and you've gotten started in this business. Now let's move on to tip number two. This is another way that I have found that is standard practice also for newbies too that want to invest that have very little money to for their down payment. They will open up a line of credit or obtain a personal loan, or maybe credit cards to start their first deal. Now, there's a strategy to using that, and you have to be careful with the interest rates that's associated with doing that to make sure that your property, your pencils in terms of doing your due diligence and doing your analysis for the property. So you want to make sure that's taken care of if you decide to move in this direction. Often you may not have someone that can come in with you and help you with your down payment. You don't have any other resources. Now let's get to how much money you're going to need just to get started. I suggest $2,000 to get started. Now, why am I using that number? I am using that number because you will have to put in some money into your business as a real estate investor. That's your buy-in, and that shows your joint venture partner, anyone that's going to help you with your down payment, that you're serious about this business. Now, what are you going to use that $2,000 for? Typically, when you put in an offer for a property, you will need an earnest money deposit. And the standard is about $1,000 to put down as your earnest money deposit. So that's 1,000 out of that 2,000 that you're going to need. The other 1,000 would take care of perhaps an appraisal that's required, and some other application fees. For lenders often require application fees, a credit check fee. So that $1,000, additional $1,000, will take care of those types of costs. So that's why you should have at least $2,000 starting in. Now, if you do not have that $2,000, because why? Perhaps you're living paycheck to paycheck. Many of us are, especially under the pandemic. Or perhaps you are mismanaging your money, buying things that you probably shouldn't buy just right now. You should wait till you have a wealth ratio over 1% before you start to buy that Louis Vuitton bag. How about that? So, that would tell me that you may need to look at your financial planning strategies personally before you are ready to start your investment business. Now, I hope that these tips were very helpful. And again, please reach out to us at strivewealthbuilders.com. If you'd like to contact me, go to the contact page. My information is there. I'd love to help. I hope to see you next time, and thanks for joining me today.